What's good, people? It's your boy Ghost back again for another video, and today I'll be giving you my first impressions of my first ever 1000cc motorcycle. It's the Honda CB 1000. Okay, so I've had this bike for about maybe 2.5 weeks. I've ridden it wind, rain or shine. That's why it's a little bit dirty, so please, I do apologize. We're all river riders around here, you know how we do it. I've been on the motorway with this bike just like last time with a passenger. I've been on the motorway with this bike by myself. I've really had a chance to ring this bike out a little bit, and let me tell you something, this might be my favorite bike I've ever been on. Better than the ZX6R? I hate to say it, if it weren't for like one thing, there's one thing wrong with this bike that I just can't stand, easily fixable, but if it weren't for that one thing, I'd say this, just for the comfortability as well that it brings, as well as just how fast it is, it's really good. I can't put it over my ZX6R because I love my ZX6R at the end of the day. I love it. I just love it, and I wouldn't have any other bike. Like, riding these bikes has taught me one thing, and it's that no matter how good the bike is, I need a sport bike in my life. I just need it. Like, it doesn't matter about how comfortable it is. Like, I need that sport bike in my life. It's just me. The aesthetics that it brings, everything, it's 100% me. So back to the looks of this bike. I really like how they have these little indentations on the engine. It's really cool. Well, on the clutch side and engine block here, it's really cool. It reminds me of a lot of cruiser bikes do this. I don't know why, but it looks really cool. I like it. The headlight as well. This headlight, when you turn it on, absolutely gorgeous. I think I'll put a little picture up here of a nighttime ride that I went on, and I stopped and just took pictures, and it just looks beautiful. Really cool looking headlight. Also, it lights up the way pretty. It doesn't look like much like it would, but it lights up the way pretty nicely when you're riding at night. That's one thing. Going back to like my LXR days, the lights on it were absolutely terrible. Like, riding at night time was not it. But the front headlight, the Honda front headlight here, really nice. One thing you're looking at this, right? It did come with a top box. Obviously, I took it off, but I did go on the motorway with the top box on, and I have to say it was quite hilarious being on a 1000, people thinking of riding a typical pizza bike. It was quite hilarious that I was dusting BMWs on the motorway with the top box on. It was one of my favourite things about this bike so far. I really like the display. The display is more than you probably need in a display, but it shows everything that you do need and more. So honestly, it's a good little display. Of course, we have the stock exhaust, but you know how that goes. Again, you couldn't get a little exhaust on it, but you know, in fact this exhaust isn't too bad. It's actually quite nice. Louder than most. I think that has to do more of it being a 1000, so it just has more grunt in it, but I wouldn't mind rolling around with this bike with no exhaust on. It's actually quite loud. When I'm rolling around in heavy traffic, even on my way here today, there was quite a bit of traffic, and cars will hear you and move apart as if you had an actual custom exhaust, but that's okay. Actually good. My absolute favorite thing about this here, single-sided swing arm. Ain't that beautiful? Look at that. On a average 1000cc, you just don't see it much. I think it's pretty cool. I've always, if you see my stories, I'm always going about single swing dreams. This right here, one of my favorite features on any bike. On this, hands down. Just for the looks alone, it looks absolutely amazing. Another feature that I do like about this bike here is the license plate. Normally on bikes you get this big ugly thing hanging down here, but this isn't too bad. You know, if I owned this bike, I'll put a little smaller plate on here, and it's not too bad. It doesn't look too bad at all. I'll probably keep it like this, honestly. I don't mind this whatsoever. This is pretty cool. Of course, this being a 1000, it comes with power modes, it comes with traction control, it comes with, even has like an anti-stall feature, which is really cool. My absolute hands down favourite feature about the technical side of this bike is that it has self-cancelling indicators. Now, I don't know about you, but I never knew I needed self-cancelling indicators until I had self-cancelling indicators. They are a wonder. You make the turn, and in about 3 to 5 seconds they turn off by themselves. Never knew I wanted it, but now I want it. Now I want it in any bike I have next. This is one of those things where you say, you don't need that, and then you have it, and then you realise you need it. It's absolutely insane. I love it, I really do. Overall, this bike is such a great bike on the look side, on the technical side. It's a sleeper, it really is. But let's get on the road and we'll talk about it a little bit more, and I can give you a bit more of an impression of how I feel about this bike. Let's go. And guys, I've just realised that I've forgotten to do a sound test. How dare I? I'm so sorry. We're going to quickly do one right here. Listen to that inline 4 goodness, baby. Okay, back to the actual video. Like I said, this thing is not quiet, not by any means. Wait, hold up. I don't want to kill myself. Not quiet by any means, I'm telling you. It's really nice, really cool. Inline 4, because you know we love inline 4s around here. Our favourite thing. We're going to encounter so much traffic, so I might just split this part out. Or maybe I'll show it just so you can see how nimble this thing really is, because you think, oh, big bad 1000, but it's actually really nimble. As you can see, man's darting in and out of traffic. It's really easy to ride as well. It has multiple modes: sport, standard, user, rain. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. I mean, like, for the days where you really want to just give it some, you can do. For the days when you just want to can't be arsed, you know, you just relax, and all it really does is change. Well, that's all it does. It changes two things: the power of the bike, especially in rain mode. It really reduces it and makes it a lot less. And then when you put it in sport mode, it makes the throttle control just like really like, right now in standard I can give it a little bit and it's fine. I put it into sport, and then like I'm giving it the same amount, and it just feels a lot more responsive. It feels like it's kicking me up the arse when I give that little bit more, you know. It's really nice, and it just feels, if there's one word I could use to describe this bike, it's refined. This bike is really refined. You can tell, like, Honda just know what they're doing when it comes to making motorcycles. Everything just feels like it's supposed to. It feels really smooth. It feels easy to use. All the controls right here are just in the perfect spot. This little thing here, the way you can just move it with your thumb, it feels better than the controls of my Z6R, that's for sure. (1000cc) power, of course, so you know we're leaving everyone in the dust. That's my favourite thing to do. It's almost a sport to me. It's just too easy. It's just too easy with this bike, man. But I've been struggling to like understand who this bike is for. Because when you whack it in rain, or even standard, it becomes so easy to use that I think coming off a 125, I could be I'm speaking for me myself, not for anyone else, by the way. Maybe you won't be the same, because everyone learns at a different rate, you know. Oh boy, there's more traffic. Great. man beefing like that? Oh. What's going on here, bro? What's going on here? I don't know what that was about, but alright. Sorry, I got distracted. Like I was saying, I don't speak for anyone else, but I only speak to myself when I say I reckon I could come off of a 125 and be okay. What's going on there? Paparazzi? Someone's personal space is being invaded. Slow it down. For the third time, I speak for myself when I say I feel like I could have come off a 125 and been comfortable riding this the same way I did with my ZX6R if I just took some time, you know. Whack it in rain mode and it becomes like so almost muted. But let's not get it twisted, because this is why I say that I'm confused on who this bike is for. It's simply because even in rain mode, once you twist that throttle enough, you're going flying. Like, it's not a joke. This 1000 is not a joke. I was about to twist it there, but then that guy did that, but it's okay. I didn't have my indicators on, he did. That being said, I think still that you should leave a bike like this to an experienced rider, just because of the fact that it's a 1000 and what it can really do is quite scary. I mean, like I said earlier, I went on the motorway on this bike, and I'll be honest with you, I was a menace. I didn't know, you know, I always said to myself, if my bike is only a 600 and it's that stupendously fast, what really is a 1000cc? And by this way, this bike has an auto blipper, which is pretty cool. But yeah, what really is a 1000cc bike? Because honestly, woo! Oh yeah, that was fun. That was really fun. That was really fun. That was really fun. Honestly, you can get yourself in some real trouble with this bike, and that is absolutely insane. I'm so glad that I was able to experience a bike like this, just because of coming from a 600, the power band down low is, I mean, even my ZX6R, it's alright, it's not that bad. I'm not supposed to filter it, but I'm not going to do that. It's not that bad. But being on this, the high-end torque just feels a whole different level. Like, I feel like if I wasn't careful, if I was a bit reckless with my throttle usage, I could easily, and I mean easily, loop this thing into oblivion. And that's a scary thought to a newer rider, or let's say even a newer me being a newer rider coming from an LXR. So it's one of them ones really where I like to have fun on my motorcycles. That's why I ride a motorcycle, to have fun. Even when I commute, I want to have fun in my commute. That's why I got a sport bike. That's why I got a ZX6R, you know. But on a bike like this, you can't really be having fun all the time. You need to really watch what you do and how you do it, because like I said, getting in trouble on this bike is way too easy. Way too easy. So that police, bro, I need to behave. So let's take it to what I actually like about this bike and what I dislike about. I won't say don't like or hate, but what I dislike about this bike, because there are some things about this bike that I'm not too keen on, and there are some things that I absolutely love. So one of the first things I really like about this bike is this display right here. Now in the daytime it's white like as you see, but in the nighttime it turns a really nice black, which contrasts against the bright light that you don't want to have glaring in your eyes. If that's any indication of anything to you, of that noise I just made going over that bump, you'll see very soon of something that I don't like about this bike. But that's the first thing. This display is really nice, it's really clear, it's really concise, and at night it turns black for you so it doesn't dazzle you too much. Automatically, by the way, which is really cool. He's gonna overtake. Not really supposed to do that, but I'm trying to be a lot more responsible with the things that I do on the bike, especially in the city. You know, the city police see you doing that, they're pulling you over and fining you for it, 100%. So I'm trying to be a bit more responsible, a bit more respectful. A funny story. I get pulled over my ZX6R a lot because it's loud, it's brash. I mean, even at 20 miles an hour, it sounds like I'm doing like 50. So that happens quite often. I didn't think I'd ever get pulled over on this thing. I mean, why would I, right? It's so basic. It doesn't even have an exhaust or nothing. It's all very legal. Whereas my ZX6R, the license plate isn't exactly the most legalist of things. But being in London, being dressed a certain way apparently is enough to get you pulled over. So I was with my girlfriend the other day, and we were both dressed in like grey tracksuit bottoms and black tops, right? Both had our helmets on, of course, and then we had masks on underneath their helmet. So we're riding down the road, and I see a police bike, and I'm like, oh. He looks at me. I can see, obviously I have my black visor down on my Alpine, my AGV helmet. So I can see him staring at me, staring at me, and so I just carry on going, trying to look as innocent as possible with my girlfriend on the back. We pass him, and then he bowls the fattest U-turn after we pass him. I see him in my mirror, I'm like, oh great. So I'm expecting this guy to turn his lights on and everything, but he doesn't. Instead, a black Vauxhall Astra behind me turns on its lights, and I'm like, what the hell? Undercover as hell. I did not expect that. So that was a crazy thing that happened. They just pulled me over. They literally just said, oh, because the way you're dressed, you know, thieves tend to dress like that, so we just pulled you over to make sure. They didn't even check my details or anything. So that was something. But as soon as they saw my demeanor, I guess, I was pretty cool with them. I know what I said, don't judge me please, okay? So back to the things I like and don't like about this bike. I'll tell you one thing that I don't like, and it's the fact, and it's a big thing, it's that one thing I was talking about that ruins this bike completely. It's that the suspension on this thing is absolutely horrendous. Now, I felt bumps on this bike that I've never felt on my ZX6R. Going to work, just even, there's one corner that I take that I like to take at a little bit of relative speed, you know, not too fast, maybe like, I'm never going to say numbers because I don't want to get in trouble, but not too fast, but fast enough. And so I take this corner on this bike for the first time, and it feels like the bike is absolutely going to slide out underneath me. It's horrible. The suspension on this setup is way too bumpy. It's just too loose. I don't know why they set it to be like that. I mean, I know it's not a sport bike, so you don't want it to be like crazy stiff, right? Of course, but it's just way too bumpy that you feel every single bump on the road. I went over that little bump earlier, and it just lifts. Sometimes it just lifts you off of your seat, even when you're going at a comfortable speed that you would expect to go over a hump. It's ridiculous. I mean, if I was to own this bike, I'd have to change it straight away because it's just unacceptable. I don't know what Honda was thinking. I know I said earlier that when it comes to them, they're really refined, but it's like they really missed the mark on setting up the suspension manually. It's horrible. It's horrible. One thing I'd have to say really surprised me about this bike is the braking system. Now, you'd expect on a 1000cc bike to have adequate brakes that will stop you in time, but this one, I don't know if it's just me, but while the brakes are good and they're decent, but if you want to do any, like, if you're like me and you like to ride fast most of the time, not in the city of course, but like just outside, then you'd expect to have good brakes, good stopping power, especially on a 1000cc. I mean, it's a 1000, right? Regardless of the make or model, a 1000cc should have good brakes, right? Surely. To me, it just makes sense, right? But while the brakes are decent, it just feels a bit, when you're always on it, if you've ever experienced brake fade, it feels like they brake fade really quickly, and I hope it's not just me, but that's what it feels like to me, and it shouldn't be like that. That does sound good. That does sound really, really good. I love it. I really do love the sound of this bike. Inline fours are absolutely amazing. Overall, there isn't much I dislike about this bike. Honestly, it's a really solid bike. Like I said, Honda, they know what they're doing when it comes to these things, man. They've been in the game for so long. Again, with the self-cancelling, I don't think I've shown you the self-cancelling turn signals. I'll do that in a second. I said I'm not American. The self-cancelling indicators, I'll do that in a second. Even, you know, I'll do it right now. It should work here. It should work here. Let's see. I'll do that. I'll make a sharp little turn and let's see it cancel itself. Will it cancel itself? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. It didn't, but I'll do it in a second. Hold on. I'm gonna stop behind this vehicle. I'm gonna take a left up there and it should cancel itself. Let's have a look at these self-cancelling indicators. I'll make a slow left turn, right? I'm gonna take my hand off. You'll see my left hand here, and it should cancel itself just like that. Amazing! I love it. It's so sick. I've never had that before. Top 10 features on any bike ever. Self-cancelling indicators. Like I said, I didn't know I needed it until I knew I had it. Oh my goodness! But I'm gonna chill out right here, and we're gonna end the video right here. Oh, oh. Nah, I tweaked my leg a little bit. I'm playing football, so I need to chill out getting off this bike. Overall, this is a really good bike. I really enjoyed riding it. Unfortunately, it's going back tomorrow. But if I could have two bikes, the ZX6R and another one, I thought the MT-09 changed how I saw things in terms of bikes, or naked bikes at least. But this bike is definitely a winner in my eyes. I would have a ZX6R and a CB1000. Like I said, it had a top box on it. I was gapping people on the M-Way. It was so fun. Probably the most fun I've had on my bike so far. Seeing their faces when I just take off, hilarious. But anyway, I've been your boy Ghost. Thank you again for rocking with me. If you made it this far, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. I'm out. Love.